let's play with simple interest. First things first, what is simple interest? Well, remember, simple interest is one of the two ways, right? We have simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest is found on just the principal. So you find interest basically one time. And we have the formula interest equals principal times rate times time, where principal is the amount you deposit, the rate is the annual interest rate, and time is in years. So if you want to find the future value, let's call that A, the amount at the end, you would take the principal and add to it the interest, right? That makes sense because if I earn interest, I add it to what I put in at the beginning, that gives me the ending amount. We're going to need these two formulas to play with. So 3 examples. Here's number 1. How much do you need to deposit in an account earning 3% simple interest for 8 years to have $24.80 in the account at the end of those 8 years? Now, think about what we know. We know the rate is 3%. We know the time is 8 years. And we want to have $24.80 in the account at the end. That's A. So thinking through the formulas, we know that interest is principal times rate times time. So if the future value is principal plus the interest, well, I can say instead of the interest, I can substitute in an equal piece. So instead of I'm going to put PRT because those are equal. So the amount equals principal plus principal times rate times time. Now, let's plug in what we know. $24.80 equals unknown principal plus unknown principal times my rate as a decimal times time. First things first, we simplify. 0.03 times 8 is 0.24p. Now, because I have nothing in front of this p, it's like a 1. So 1p plus 0.24p is 1.24p. Equals 24.80. To get p by itself, I divide both sides by 1.24, and when we do that, we get p equals $2,000. So that's how much I would need to deposit to have this situation happen. Let's do another one. You deposit $1,500 in an account for 5 years, simple interest, and have $1,800 at the end. What's the interest rate? Okay, write what you know. I deposit $1,500. That's p. 5 years is time, and the amount is $1,800. So we're going to do the same process. The amount at the end is the principal plus the interest. And again, interest is the same as PRT. So I can just plug that in, PRT. Let's plug in what we know. 1,800 equals 1,500 plus 1,500 times R times 5. Okay. First things first, let's get this 1,500 out of here. So if I subtract 1,500, this will go away. I'm left with 300 equals 1,500 times R times 5. Multiplication, we can multiply in any order. So 1,500 times 5 gives me 7,500 R equals 300. So now I divide both sides by that number in front of the variable. So we divide by 7,500. And R equals 0.04. So my rate is 4%. So you can use these formulas in a lot of different ways. Let's do one more just for fun. Let's find time. So you deposit $1,200 at 2% simple interest and have $1,368 at the end. How long was your money in the account? What I like about this is that finding the time or the rate, it's done the same way. So P plus PRT, plug it in what we know, 1,368 equals 1,200 plus 1,200 times 0.02 times T. Subtract the 1,200 from both sides. We get 168 equals 1,200 times 0.02 times T. So now I'm going to multiply, right, the two pieces here, and I get 168 equals 24T. You got to divide both sides by 24. And when you do that, you come up with a nice and even 7. So the time, how long was it in there? 7 years. And that is playing with simple interest.